Hello, good evening, brothers, sisters, the human race, sovereigns, friends, family, activists. What I'm doing is a quick video, probably about half an hour. This is to summarise the progress so far, what's happened in 2017, what new direction we're going to be looking at taking, the reasons for that, how we've come about that, and yeah, the birth certificate and the contracts of which you are all somewhat confused about, the newbies to our group, and some people that are already in the group that haven't actually tackled this subject. That's the beauty of the group that we've got. We've got people that are knowledgeable in different specialist areas. So where one person or one admin, one man, not person, will not know and we'll say we don't know, and we'll go out and we'll find someone that does, and then we'll get what they say, compare it, contrast it, research it, look up, validate it, source it, and then that's how we grow and learn. So my subject of choice is the law, statute and act versus how it is applied to a man. This is normally under tacit, or let me think of the other one now, tacit agreement, adhesion contracts, non-verbal, non-disclosed. When you sign for something, you're entering into a contract. It doesn't matter what it is or who it's come from, how it's got to you. If it requires you to put your person's signature, you classify this signature as yours, but it's not. It's the person's. It's the man giving the authority as the interested third party to the contract, or because you don't know about it, you aren't entering into a contract, you're doing the normal thing, which is giving your signature when you're asked to. So let's simplify it. We can all go to the government and we can request a copy of your birth certificate, or if you've got the original birth certificate, then that's great. If you haven't, you go to the website, you get a copy of your birth certificate, a certified reproduction. When you hold it up to the light, you will see the crown, as in the crown symbol, the crown, what was on the Royal Mail post boxes. Yeah, Royal Mail vans used to have the crown symbol on it. They still do, some of them, I think. GRO, General Register's Office, is on the certificate. So I can't show you that on the camera, but you hold your certificate up, you'll see it's bonded. That denotes what? Denotes financial attachment, a trust fund. This is your bond, your trust fund. There's a number on the top. But more importantly, we're going to go for the bottom again. Right, you can freeze frame about there. You can pause it. Let's get it full picture so you can see. But this bit in particular, warning, a certificate is not evidence of identity. So when we've gone and produced our identity when we've left school, and someone asked for ID, they normally would ask for, because we're of a school leaving age, we won't normally have a passport, we'll have a national insurance card, and you'll have maybe some provisional driving stuff. But to get identification, you need a letter with your address on, and then something which confirms who you are. Now that would be a birth certificate, and we've all gone and used this, and we've all gone and used it for ID. When it says that you know, if the certificate is given from the original register, the words "the certified copy of" are struck out. Caution, there are offences relating to falsifying or altering a certificate. That's because it's financially bonded and it's got a number on it, and you can't fraudulently alter or claim on someone else's trust, someone else's bond certificate. There are offences relating to falsifying or altering a certificate and using or possessing a false certificate, and it's got the copyright in a circle, Crown copyright. Warning, a certificate is not evidence of identity. General Register Office of England. So this has been given to me because I've requested it, because I wanted to read up about the CES2K, the CQV Trust. And yeah, if you've got a birth certificate, you've been baptised into the Roman Catholic Church, and you've now got a certification of birth, BIRTH, but it relates to Admiralty law, and it relates to ship, and it relates to freight, and that would be BERTH, birth. as in what ships have, and ships are birthed when they are born, when they are made. They are pushed down a birthing canal, and they go out to sea, and they are birthed onto sea. When you sleep on a boat, the rooms are called berths. When a human baby, a man, is born, it is born of the waters of its mother, and it comes the product in their eyes, or the baby and the vessel containing the soul in our eyes, comes down the birthing canal of the mum after the waters have been broken, and the baby is, let's say, delivered in a ward in a hospital by a doctor. Well, boats get tied up to docks. You dock a boat, you dock a baby. So yeah, we're keeping it simple, and we're keeping it so you can understand and see the relationships between the old English words, and the implied meanings behind that, and the different spellings and the adaptations of the phonetic use of our language over hundreds of years. So registration's another great one. When you register anything, what you are doing, you're obviously entitled to search this, look it up, look at definitions, go find dictionaries and talk to other people, ask the admins in this group. Legal registration, you are transferring legal title and ownership to the person, the company, the registration body authority that you are submitting it to. So we have registered our children, haven't we? And we get a certificate of birth when we register the children. So legal title and ownership has been handed over to the body that it's been registered to, the Crown. This is why, for instance, you are not allowed to take your children out of school when you want. You must get the children, your property, their investment, as we call it, educated. You must not abuse the children. You must not, you've got to feed them correctly, bring them up healthily. There's checks done along the way, and if you are found not to be bringing them up correctly, then you are taken to answer for this and to justify it, and to answer for the charges that will be brought against you via the Child Protection Services. So they've got a vetted interest in the children. They've got ownership to the children. Ship, it's a water, sea, ownership, friendship, anything that ends in ships, generally a bad word. Partnership, relates to business, generally. Ships, it's the word ship. So maritime, UCC contract, that's what the certificate is. So when the baby's born in hospital, a given name is recorded, the Christian given name, at the ward in the hospital, and that's it. Then you've got a certain amount of time legally to register the child. When they register the child, errors and omissions are made. You are given a birth certificate. This is for a dead soul, it's a dead asset, commodity. So they have got a rule. If you look up the Sestu K of 1666 at .gov UK, you can claim the body back and say that it's alive by the age of 7. You've got 7 years, some kind of a rule where if a man is lost at sea, the wife can marry again after 7 years. So there's legal avenues of which then, if you do not know about this, you cannot legally go and reclaim your dead baby's body that's lost at sea and salvaged after 7 years. If you do not know this, you cannot do it, so therefore you can't inform them. These are non-disclosed contracts that are lawfully, unlawful. They're not lawfully applied. Legally, they may be legal, but that's the legal society, and the legal society is in its own society. It's not our society. We don't speak legalese. We don't need legalese. If you are in a situation and you start using legalese, it's considered that you have contracted. So if you're trying to defend yourself and then you are articulating it along the lines of statutes, acts and certain things like that, then you will start to use legalese. And if you want to remain we'll say sovereign for whatever reason, and honourable, and not contract in any way, and remain as a man without giving anybody jurisdiction, then you would not use legalese in any of your notices or your communications. If you did, you would have been seen to have contracted. The same applies if you use UCC and things like that. If you start quoting codes, then they'll start, the jurisdiction is given, you've consented, you've contracted, you've opened the floodgates to it. So you need to know what you're on about. You can't just quote stuff and then hope that it works, because like if the judge says to you, you've used code 1308, what does that mean? If you go, oh, it's just because I don't want to show any prejudice, without ill will and vexation or prejudice, he'll say, no, not granted, and he won't grant you the right to use UCC. Now, if you said, well, Your Honour, it's to retain and reserve my right not to be forced to be compelled to perform under non-disclosed contracts at the time, and also I do not waiver my right to a trial by a jury of my peers under common law in a court that's local to you. You see, so then he'd know I know the game, we know the game. So before you start using anything or quoting anything or writing anything, you need to make a personal journey, and you need to back it up, and you need to know what we're on about. So, with all that said, my person, I am the man, this is my person, this is Mr. David Jeremita. That's legally known. So previously, because I didn't know anything, I thought I was Mr. David Jeremita, this was me. No, this isn't me, I'm the man, David, the given name at the hospital, David. Then you go to register. When you go to register, they ask for the rest of the name, and the details are captured on this birth certificate for the Crown State, for on behalf by the General Register's Office. And what they do then is put the name into the dead baby column. It says if stillborn, put into this column. And when you register your baby, you enter unwittingly the details in for a stillborn. They give you the certificate for a stillborn baby. You have got a live baby there in the office in front of them. This is all a legal trick. So then, therefore, you've been entered into the non-disclosed contract. An entity has been made, a commodity, an asset has been made. Your dad's informing the state, an asset has been made between the mum and the dad. A partnership, a unity have created another thing. The fruit and labour of their loins has created their own property, a child, but in lawful terms we argue, we reference it as property, and that property belongs to the mum and the dad, but the mum and the dad have given the property away legally to the state via the registration of births. Now look at the word registration. Reggie is applicable to the crown, as in the crown, the monarchy, not the crown of business people that live in Greater London. Look at Greater London, look at a map, get a map out, look at the centre of it. It's darker, it's a different outline, it's marked off because it is under its own postcode, it's under its own jurisdiction, it's got its own police, it is not classed as United Kingdom. Now, United Kingdom, as far as I'm concerned, I'm an English man and I live on the landmass, England, so if you start saying that you are part of the United Kingdom, Great Britain, or other such things, you are saying you're part of a corporation. England is the original name for this island of mud. Yes, England. Not United Kingdom. That's a corporation created by parliamentary members and through the EU and things like that when we became a nation. Now, look at what nations are. We look at England itself and how to not be forced to be compelled to contract under non-disclosed, under things that are non-disclosed at the time. They will trick you with words and sayings, and if you say you are part of or agree to, then you have contracted in. So this game is massive. You must understand that it's not something you can just pick up and watch a few videos or read a dictionary or two and then apply it in practicality within life, courts, bills, businesses, statuses, contracts, anything really, driving, travelling. So yeah, I haven't really got anything, no paper, no references. This is just an update of where we're going from, but all along the same thread and with a view to opening up other people's eyes and simplifying and clarifying your statuses, who you are, what you use and things like that. So you understand now how this asset is created, why it's created, what it's used for. Every time you're signing, this is a contract that you're signing for. It doesn't matter what that paper is, where it's come from or anything. You're contracting, and what you are doing, you as the man, the woe man, the woman or the man, both are the man, are giving your signature. When you've signed for something, you've put it on a piece of paper, and then that piece of paper gets given. Now you can look at how to sign without assuming liability. You can put things like VC, you must put before you sign, not at the end of the signature, because things can be written off, covered up, copied and doctored if, so people feel inclined. So put VC, then your signature, V.C. Look at what that means. I'm not going to tell you, but look at it, what it means. You can do some homework on that. I've never used it yet, but jury's out on that one, but it shows intent, if nothing else, even if it can't fully be backed up, validated and, relied upon. It's the intent's there. You could argue that, you was using it for signing under duress. I know someone that puts 3 dots before his signature, then his name, and then 3 dots. This means to be continued. This contract can go back to at any time. UCC 1-308, as I explained in this video, that's what that is. Non-disclosed contracts, court of your peers in the common law with a jury. And also you can use a thumbprint to sign something. Say you're writing a notice to somebody and you're serving notice. You might be doing a 3-letter notice. You might be writing to inform somebody, a parking corporation. Generally, a corporation is what you're dealing with. So you're doing that, you're writing it, and you're keeping your status as the natural man. You can use your first name, but your given name. It could be any name, because I'm known as a few nicknames. So lawfully, I am known as David, given name by my family, parents, and I'm known by the nicknames that I have. Lawfully, I don't need to give date of births and surnames and that. People that know me, they've given me a nickname, so therefore that's the only identification or sources of referencing we need in our common law environment. Social free men. Whereas when they want your date of birth and they want your surname, they're after your person. So therefore, your person, that means they want a contract and they want money. They're trying to access your CQV, Sestu KV Trust, as a mercantile agent or something. Mercantile law. Oh, yes, it all involves 3, the number of 3. There's always a magic number, the Holy Trinity. The surname, do not take the Father's name in vain. There is a certain element of law, of religion in this law, Roman Catholic religion to be precise, and Romans did a lot of stuff. What did they portray the Romans as doing? Carry on films, getting drunk and having sex. No, the Romans did a great deal more. So the Roman Catholic law has infiltrated, our present law, and the law schools, the law, what would you call it, business fronts, like what have we got at Northamptonshire, Nottinghamshire Court Business Centre, but there's no judges there, and it's no courts. You never can go to a court, so there's no judges, no legally trained people. You can't go to a court, but yet they handle legal issues there and send out PCNs, penalty charge notifications, to travellers that they assume are drivers, and they inform you that there's some infraction has been made on the Road Traffic Management Act. Now, if you're, say, going to admit to being a driver, then you are subject to the Road Traffic Management Act. If you are going to say you're travelling in a vehicle, then you're subject to the Road Traffic Management Act. And if you have, like myself, filled in a V5 registration logbook with your driver's details on and put down that you have that vehicle, but then you've sent a separate notice outlining with it that you do not contract, you don't want to hand over, legal title or ownership. It's your vehicle. You can prove that via the bill of sale, having a receipt and stuff. The transaction, it's lawfully yours. Legally, they might want to claim something, but you can specify this when you send off the V5, send a separate note with it. You can sign, obviously, with the thumbprint on the V5. You could put VC, 3 dots, UCC 1308, but then again, once you start using corporate codes, they tend to listen up quicker, but they're not always the best way, because then you're contracting. So we can see it both ways. We can appreciate people that want to stay wholesome and not contract and not bend and not fill in and submit and register. And we can see the way that some people want to register, submit and use their law, which is statute code law. It's not common law, it's not actual law, it's man-made statute or code, which is for the maritime, world trade and stuff like that, freight management. And you'd get a lot quicker result. Like we've had now, this is the next subject, someone's come along and said that they're going to register their all caps name as a business, a registered business in England on the business website, with Companies House, with Dun and Bradstreet, and that, an actual trading for limited business for in England, all caps name, and then all liability goes to that. We've had a discussion in a private chat thread over the last couple of days, 3 days. It's made my brain fizzy, because number one, we are taught, and I'm telling you, about registration and not to register, because when you register, you are handing over legal ownership and title. But once you do that with this bonded beauty, your CQV trust, and your all caps name, because whenever you get any correspondence and it's all caps, or it's your name, Mr., Mrs., Miss, Christian name, and all caps surname, then that's not you. And you're opening other people's mail. That's your person's mail, because you've used your person for ID, haven't you? When you shouldn't have. See the loophole now. Nobody knows about it. Now you know about it. You've been committing fraud. And now we need a remedy. And this is what we're all about at Sovereign Solicitors. This is what the other people in Facebook are all about. If you're watching this video, then I'm posting this because you're a respected entity on the website Facebook that we use, and I've made friends with people, and we have the same views, and other people have the same views, and we are trained, we are told one thing at school by our parents, by the TV, by the media, by the magazines, by the music on the radio. Subconsciously we are programmed. Then we come out of school. I come out at 15. I was on the streets fending for myself at 15 due to unforeseen circumstances at the time. I've dealt with nice people, with horrible people, government people, state officials, policemen, things like that in my time. But this situation where you find yourself, I've been grateful to the help that I received at a young age when I needed help, and I used my person to get that. And I used people in the government and the state, and had interactions with the police, and it went well, and they helped, and they got me where I needed to go. But if I'd have known I've got entitlements as a man, and that I didn't need to submit and register and more or less beg and plead and contract and give them access to my CQV trust, of which they can make deductions and charge as mercantile agents using the Holy Trinity, then I'd have got a lot further. You will get a lot further when you know the power that you have, the statuses. Nobody knows they can choose. If we can't choose, we're in a dictatorship. If we're in a dictatorship, then Hitler's basically still in power. You know what I mean? How come all this freedom we're supposed to have, where is it? You haven't got any freedom. You can't move left, right or centre without someone then wanting to put a charge on you. So registering the legal all caps name, that's an interesting conundrum. That's using their system, and it's using the UCC Maritime, because that's what everything governs under, UCC, Unified or United Commercial Codes. These codes can also be used to write promissory notes as you, the man, the woman or the man, against your utility bills. Now the next chapter is your utility bills: gas, electric, water. Water used to be owned by the public, and then it was sold off and privatised, and now we're ending up paying for poisoned water. And it's like, what? We never even got any money back as the people that owned it initially, that sold it off via Margaret Thatcher's government. Do you not remember what's going on? We have stuff, it gets taken away and sold, then we get it back and we have to pay for it, but it was ours in the first place. It was England's, not United Kingdom's, not Great Britain's, it was England's. Yeah, this is what angers a lot of people, because we can see it in our select groups, and we can see we're paying for things we shouldn't have to pay. We've got entitlements for, utility bills are paid for. Someone's just said there's a comment in one of the threads in the group, the old people that die at the winter time because they can't heat their houses, where their bills are paid for, and what we get in the post is a statement and a demand. It's not duly billed under the Bill of Rights. And when you know you've got an estate, a CQV trust fund, and you can get access to it, and you can move it about, and you can close it off so nobody else can access it in the public realm, and only you can, or you can dissolve it. It makes a whole lot of difference. I watched a film yesterday called Jupiter Ascending, and it's got lots of clues in there. The way she talks, the way that they contract, the way that the aristocratic space, mercantile agents are dealing in planets and farming people and making the humans only used for one thing, and that's for trade. The line in the film says humans are only good for consuming and trade. What? No, we're not. Well, they are, according to this superior race, this elite bloodline, and they go around farming people. At one point, what's she called? The actor in this now, that's from Meg from Family Guy, the voice on that, Mila Kunis. She says something, and the guy who's an agent of says, "Oh, you've pulled code and conduct on me." So she didn't give him authority, and so he didn't have it, even though she's queen, allegedly a queen and some bloodline from wherever. She pulled code and conduct on him. They have a claim of right in this film to the planet Earth. Found it fascinating. So there's a lot of clues and codes in there made by the makers of The Matrix. And obviously there's clues in that. So I'm going to wrap it up now, and we've got a lot to talk about. Registering the All Caps name as a business limited is a work of genius. I hope I've summarised everything for you in a roundabout way with regards to your person, your certificate, your statuses, your entitlements. What we're doing at the minute is now pioneering in other new areas, because that's what we do. We'll use the master brain and all the members and sovereigns to get things together. We'll post things in other groups and we'll put it out there. We'll welcome new knowledgeable members to come and back us up and support it, and we'll also take feedback and stand corrected where we can be, need to be, and we'll strengthen the argument of which we've got the remedies, and we can argue it in any way you want. It's your choice, but when you make the choice, you must make the choice well informed and on a personal level for the right reasons. Peace, love and light, sovereigns.